Well, joining us now from Kabul is Jalal Rabbani, who's the son of the assassinated former President Burhanuddin Rabbani. Thank you very much for speaking to Al Jazeera. So President Karzai says that there is no point in talking with the Taliban anymore, and that dialogue should be directly started with the Pakistanis. What's your view on this statement? Is this really a shift in strategy, or is it perhaps an attempt, as some have suggested, for President Karzai to save his skin politically?
My commander-in-chief has spoken the words of the Afghan people, and the president was very clear in the stance against all the terrorists who were involved in this murders crime that happened in Kabul. Not only this crime, but the assassination of Ahmed Wali Karzai and all the other brothers and lieutenants that we had that were involved in fighting against terrorism were one by one assassinated. This raises a question that, why are these targeted assassinations are happening right now? In my view, I think this is the Pakistani military apparatus's design of entry in Afghanistan after exit of 2014 by U.S. Forces that are scheduled and are announced by the Obama administration.
But what you're suggesting, and by suggesting that dialogue should be directly initiated with Pakistan, in a way President Karzai is also suggesting that Pakistan had a hand in the assassination of your father and the others. Is this really the way to go about resolving this crisis, in your opinion, by exposing Pakistan as the backer of the Taliban? Isn't this going to complicate the situation further?
I don't think so. I think the martyrdom of His Excellency Professor Burhanuddin Rabbani, the champion of peace of the people of Afghanistan, has to be, the revenge has to be taken, and those people are clearly right now identified on the Pakistani side of the border. It is about time that we are asking questions from the international community, United Nations. It is time that the Security Council convey a meeting, particularly in regards to Pakistan, that they are actively involving themselves in terrorism, supporting terrorism of any kind, violent, extremists, you name it, they are into it, including drugs and narcotics.
You say revenge has to be taken now. So are you satisfied or not with the investigation process so far into your father's death? A number of arrests have been made in Afghanistan, but what about, in Pakistan? And when you say revenge has to be taken, what do you mean exactly?
The investigation has been wrapped on the Afghani side of the border. Right now it is in the hands of the so-called Pakistani brothers of mine to take action into finding the murders of their father, as they claim. We will only appreciate that Azaz-e-Pakistan medal of His Excellency that was given to him in his honor when Pakistan decides to deliver those terrorists in our hands. And that is the revenge we are seeking. It is just, it is peaceful, and this is what Islam gives us the order to take over our enemies and eliminate them, because these people are enemies of peace, and we will not be sitting with them when they don't discuss peace.
Okay. You met with the Pakistani Prime Minister, I understand, not long ago. What came out of talks with him? Did he give any guarantees that his country would cooperate in finding the murderers of your father?
Ma'am, I was unfortunately born in Pakistan, in Peshawar. But let me tell you a historic fact. From my point of view, Peshawar is within the soil of Afghanistan. Putting that aside, I have been educated in Pakistan. I know my friends. I know their fathers. I know those communities who helped us during the war against Russians, and I know how they operate. If they like to see peace in Afghanistan, it is within their reach. And right now, the world needs to convince them that the only way to proceed in Afghanistan is through peaceful manners, because the people of Afghanistan are tired of these double games that they are playing with us, and they're always feeding us wrong information, and the same goes to the Americans. Okay. It is about time the American taxpayers ask their governments, why are their money being spent in Pakistan, while they're taking that money and spending it in extremist cause.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
One last question, Mr. Rabbani. Now, there's also the issue of succession within the Jamiat al-Islami party, which was headed by your father following his assassination. Now, is there a mechanism in place for succession, and is there anyone who's standing out right now that could fill the void left by your father?
Jamiat is a very democratic party within Afghanistan that dates back to 55 years ago. We definitely have mechanics in process in choosing the succession of His Excellency, the leader, the martyr. And right now, the Leadership Council is working very hard to put that mechanism in place. And in a near future, the Leadership Council will be issuing a statement in regards to succession.
Your father? Who do you think has what it takes to replace your father?
Whomever can bring us peace will replace my father, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking to us. Mr. Jalal Rabbani, son of the assassinated former Afghan President Burhanuddin Rabbani, joining us there live from the Afghan capital, Kabul. Thank you. Now, authorities in the Philippines say they're struggling to reach stranded victims after